As the academic year draws to a close, the spotlight turns to Nomzamo township, and that's where the Kasi eSports is set to host a showdown pitting local schools against each other in a thrilling display of who will own the gaming year of 2023. And that's where we find Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi, who joins us live now. Nasiphi, good morning to you. So I see two gentlemen behind you there, very busy setting up the equipment. What kind of sports are we talking when we say eSports?
Well, Goli, fortunately for myself, I do have somebody from Kasi eSport who will be able to kind of break down to us what eSport really is. But as you mentioned, there are two pupils right behind me setting up. The two-day tournament starts today. And as you put it, a number of schools from this community, and we understand from neighboring communities as well, will be participating. And it will only be tomorrow where we will know who will be victorious in this particular tournament. But to talk to us more, not only about the sports itself, but also the pupils that will be participating, I'm joined by Usne Temba from Kasi eSport. Before we get into it, briefly for us, what is eSports?
Esports is a gaming sport, gaming sporting code, whereby it's usually people who normally sit indoors and then just use their fingers and eye coordination to play around sports. It's not as physical as your general sport. So it's electronic sports, hence now it has become this now venturing sporting code. Yeah.
I wouldn't be lying if I said as much as the sport was in existence before COVID, we have seen a significant surge. I mean, not too long ago, we had the biggest mall e-sporting game in the country, and the sport itself has now become formalized.
Yes, definitely. Post-COVID, the sport has took a drastic growth, and also before there wasn't opportunities such as these ones that we're bringing now to the community. Hence, we thought after we've experienced the high gaming industry, we thought, okay, now it's best now to bring what we've learned from the outside, now bringing it into the schools and also nurturing the talent. And just before the biggest mall competition, we also ran a few tournaments with the schools, and then we selected a couple of kids that were going to participate there. They did participate, they saw, and then they also saw the biggest names in the country, and they interacted with them, and it was really thrilling for them.
Let's now talk about the schools. We're obviously in one of the disadvantaged communities under the city of Cape Town. And how do you pick these schools? Is it just, schools from this particular community? The start was the schools particularly to this community, but as we've seen the demand and the understanding and also the growing for us as a whole, we saw that, okay, it's not, we shouldn't just only focus only in the Strand area, but focus more on entirely the sub-Saharan schools. Yeah. Well, you said e-sport. I'm assuming the E stands for electronic, which means electricity. We are in South Africa. We can't shy away from load shedding. How do you guys maneuver that? I understand that you were supposed to start at 9 o'clock this morning. However, we're only setting up at 11.
Load shedding has been the biggest factor in terms of how we run operations on the ground, and normally, without load shedding, we would run an event like this within one day. But hence, because of load shedding, we had to split it into now 2 days. There will be registration taking place now, and then we'll be closing off at 3 o'clock, and then continuing the following day. And we always check the load shedding schedule. Hence, we check the load shedding schedule, and then that's when we are able to pick, okay, what times are we going to start, and also, most times we tend to change the time because you never know with load shedding.
Do we see any women partaking in this sport? I mean, when we met for the first time, it was at the biggest e-sporting event. I didn't see a lot of women there. But are we going to be seeing some girls participating in this tournament today?
Unfortunately, we currently in the schools, we have one female but she's unavailable at the moment. So she was there in the Century City, the malls event. She was there. She took place in. She participated in a lot of events, keyboard racing. She participated in FIFA and also Street Fighter and Tekken. She was in those games as well. But for this one specifically, she is not available at the moment. But the aim is to grow women and find ways for them to be into gaming, especially in these communities, because one of the games that we are popularly known with is currently known as FC24. Most girls don't really like that game. They like more of your fighting games, and we are planning to introduce those games and have more female involvement in the team and in the schools as well.
Kasi eSport, you have this tournament now, various schools, saying that as far as Kailicha coming to participate in this tournament as who will, be victorious at the end of it. But, what is the end goal for having these tournaments?
What sets Kasi eSports apart is we have the first team, which is the senior guys, and then we have now what we've introduced, the schools, which is the development side of the team. So the plan is to enroll the potential that we see from the schools and integrate them to becoming part of the team. And when those guys, the senior guys, have retired or have sat down, and then they are the next generation to ensure that this gaming culture still continues in the township and goes to more African schools, because that's the target. We are not just only planning to stay in South Africa or remain in Strand. We are planning to go out into the entire country and also the continent as whole.
Thank you so much, Snetamba, there from Ikasi Sport. We obviously heard what eSport is, but also the tournament itself being stretched over 2 days and how load shedding actually impacted this particular tournament, but also eSports, and the fact that they are looking at going to various schools throughout the country and ensuring that the gaming culture is spread right through. And we heard that they are looking also at having a bit more females participating in this particular sport. However, we will be keeping you up to date, Koli, once this tournament kick-starts, and hopefully tomorrow we will hear who remain, or rather who is going to be victorious for this particular tournament.
Nasiphi, thank you very much. Live for us in the Nomzamo township, that's in the Western Cape.